So, I like to think that football fans are an incredibly loyal bunch. They will have a commitment to their club and, for the most part, to the players at that club, because ultimately they want what's best for absolutely everybody. And that is fantastic. But there are some instances in which a player will push the boundaries a little bit too far and gradually lose all of the support that they've managed to build up over an extended period of time. There's some instances of that happening at Leeds United, for example. Kiko Casilla did not take that long to lose the fan base. Bailey Peacock Farrell barely had the fan base, and you're seeing a trend right now, and that includes Illan Meslier. Because Illan Meslier lost the support of the fan base, and that means that a little bit of a news story that I've learned from a source is that Illan Meslier is set to leave Leeds United regardless of what happens at the end of the season. So this is one of the stories that I've learned from the same guy that told me the Somerville fee before it was released more widely, the stroke injury, about him having a fracture rather than it being a sort of short-termy thing. He's got a very reliable track record, and Leeds United are reportedly actively looking to ship him out to somewhere in the summer. To be clear, no specific details on which club at the minute, but that's because it's relatively early, and it was reportedly the Swansea match that basically made sure that that was the decision. And it makes sense, because let's look at the two different situations that Leeds United could be in. First up, Leeds United in the Premier League. The fans as a whole are not going to be trusting Leeds United in the Premier League with Illan Meslier in goal, because how can you? Joe Rodon, his own centre-back, doesn't trust him. Ethan Ampadu seemingly doesn't trust him. The fullbacks are too busy being bombed up all the way up the pitch. And I don't know if that part of the system changes in the Premier League. But if it does, then that's the goalkeeper under even more of a threat. And that's where the problem starts to build and build and build. Add on to that the fact that Illan Meslier only has a year left on his contract, and the alternative is to extend it. If you're extending him in the Premier League, he's going to have the idea that he's going to be getting more minutes, and that cannot be allowed to happen, because that isn't going to happen. Because even I, the MDL leader, or whatever the hell I became for a while there, wouldn't back that. And then the alternative is, what if the Championship? Well, if it's the Championship, then again, you've got a new manager coming in, because let's be honest, Daniel Farke isn't getting another season in the Championship with Leeds United. And that manager's going to come in, look at the fact that we're not in the Premier League, look at, what's that one little bit ahead doing? Look at the reason we are not in the Premier League and think, that's probably on Illan Meslier because of the points that we've dropped here. Because if somehow we don't go up this season now, at least automatically, Sheffield United can only outscore us by 5 points, and Mellier's cost us far more than that in daft mistakes alone. Yeah, he's made a couple of saves that have saved a few, but comfortably not enough to pull things back. So whether it is Premier League or whether it is Championship, it is looking like Illan Meslier is out the door. From a source who knows people that are close to the situation. And it works for Illan Meslier as well. He's not going to want to stay at a club where very clearly a vast swathe of the fan base do not want him here anymore. And even I'm in a position where it's going to be best for his career, it's going to be best for us, it's going to be best for him right now, it's going to be best for the fans. And I think it's ultimately the move that needs to happen. But the question that comes next is, where do Leeds United go next? Because Sally Lemelier, I don't even know what amount we get. 1 year left on his contract. Yes, he's a promising goalkeeper and he's had plenty of experience. But what sort of sum can you reasonably get? 5 million? Maybe up to 8. So I guess it's technically a bit of profit for us, and on PSR it'd be a complete profit because his original contract is done. But I don't know. I don't necessarily see that being an effective money getter, if that makes sense. So you need to dip into the rest of the transfer pot, and that's completely fair. We need to do that, and goalkeepers are relatively cheap. But what sort of level do you look at? A good suggestion that I've heard recently is look at Chelsea right now. They've got 7 first-team goalkeepers, 3 of whom are currently on loan, 4 of whom are at the club, and I'm assuming at least 2 of those are barely getting any minutes. I think Jorgensen's one of them. Sanchez, Bettinelli still there? I'm not certain. But someone on loan might make sense. I have seen a lot of conversation around Kelleher. That one won't make sense for me, purely because I've seen a lot of sort of Champions League conversation around him. And we do not sign a goalkeeper that has offers from Champions League clubs. But it's a difficult conversation overall. And I sort of wanted to close this one out by sort of having a quick look at the sort of idea of fans and how some players lose fans more quickly than others and all that kind of stuff. And just to clear up a thing that a lot of people seem to have said. So whilst, yeah, I quite like Illan Meslier. He was a young goalkeeper when he came, and at the time I was playing football occasionally myself, and I was a goalkeeper, and I was fairly young, and I was like, cool, I can relate to this guy. And gradually he got worse and worse and worse, but I'm the kind of person that wants to give people chances to improve. And if they don't, then that's a shame, but if they do, I love a good redemption arc. Look at Firpo, look at Dan James, look at Pat Bamford, like right now. But sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes that slips. So whilst a lot of people will look at those that are actively backing players and hoping maybe this keeps going in the right direction and saying happy clapper, maybe. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with wanting a little bit of hope. Anyway, a little bit of a shorter unscripted video. I just needed to sort of have the discussion about the Illan Meslier news, and I didn't know how to pad around it, so I was like, cool, I'll think it up on the spot. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, pop a like on it, subscribe if you're not yet. I'm very close to 6.7, 5.7. I'm nearly close to the next 100, 5.7k. So subscribe if you've not yet. That's massively appreciated. Or get tickets for the charity match down below at leedscreatorcup.com, or click my Match Bingo affiliate link where I forgot to do the ad read for this video. That's on me. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think is going on with the keeper situation down below, and I will see you later. Toodaloo. And to be completely clear, I say whether we're in the Premier League or not, we're in the Premier League at this point. I mean, come on. What needs to happen here is Sheffield United need all of the points, and we only need 7 of the points, and that's assuming they get all of the points. So I think we're good. I don't know if I'm talking myself into the fact that we're good, or if we are good. It's tiring. A stupid football club. Stupid. But we'll be fine. If you've gotten to this point, just comment in fact, dip in to your comment the name of a cheese. I'm kind of curious about who got that far. See you later.